Pokemon Detective Pikachu is directed by Rob Letterman and stars Justice Smith as Tim Goodman. In a world where people collect Pokemon to do battle, a boy comes across an intelligent talking Pikachu who seeks to be a detective. Now, I will fully admit, I was the first to dismiss this movie when it was first announced because I thought to myself, a Detective Pikachu movie is a dumb idea, it's not going to work, it's just one of those things that's just going to come out and it's going to flop and no one's going to care about it, it's going to go away like most video game adaptations. But I have to say, as soon as the trailers started to come out, I really became impressed more and more by the material I was seeing because the movie actually looked like it was a lot of fun. And I was actually looking forward to the movie just based on the trailers, because I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I've played a couple of games in the past, but I'm not really a huge fan. It was never something I was massively invested in, but I was still invested in the trailers, and therefore I was excited for the movie. But coming out of it, I have to say I am a little underwhelmed. Let's just get the cat out of the bag straight away though. Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, how is he? Well, he's definitely very fun and charismatic in the lead. You can tell that he's having a lot of fun in this role, and I actually really liked the dialogue out of Pikachu. I really enjoyed his kind of mannerisms, the way he acted, the way he spoke, the way he reacted to certain situations, the way he was very self-aware. I really enjoyed all that, and if you're talking about a self-aware character, obviously there's no real better actor you can get than Deadpool himself, Ryan Reynolds, and he's very, very likable in the movie. I think he's very good, very charming, and also, again, just a really good voice to give this particular character. I also really enjoyed the world building in this movie. Like, you really get to explore the world and actually see how the Pokemon and humans interact together, how the Pokemon kind of use their own unique abilities and their own unique powers to, kind of benefit society in their way and actually make, their lives easier and things like that. It was just really interesting to explore this world because it kind of felt like a Blade Runner-esque world, just with Pokemon inhabiting it. And I thought that was actually a really interesting way to present it. And again, I found that super interesting to actually explore this world and just see how it kind of interacted with everything and see how everything reacted to one another. I thought it was a very interesting watch in that way. Now, Justice Smith is the lead in this movie, and he is not too strong here. This is the guy who was in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, who screamed all the time, and while he was very annoying in that movie, he's kind of just a bit bland in this one. He's not exactly, the leading man material just yet, and obviously he's very, very early on in his career, and I will say that this performance in this movie is an improvement than what we saw in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but I still don't think his performance is that strong, and it's not that captivating to make me care about him all too much. He kind of comes across as a bit stale, a bit withdrawn, and kind of maybe lacking a bit of confidence. I don't know. It just kind of came across like he was a bit disjointed from the rest of the movie, and that's a shame because I really hoped that he would kind of come into his own in this movie and really show that he had a lot of potential, but I really didn't see that much coming out of him from this film in particular. And you also have Katheryn Newton as the co-lead in this movie, and she was also kind of annoying, which surprised me because she was also in the movie Blockers, and she was great in Blockers. Like, she was really good in that movie, really funny. In this movie, I just found her kind of annoying, and her character is supposed to be kind of annoying, so I guess in some ways I can kind of let it slide, but it still kind of came across as a very annoying performance for me, and just a character that I didn't particularly enjoy. And I think the biggest problem with Detective Pikachu is its pacing. I think the pacing is all over the shop in this movie, especially in the third act. The third act kind of stumbles along, and then it kind of goes up and then down, and the pacing is all over the place. And like I say, the first two acts weren't as bad in this department. I think the movie is fairly slow paced actually in the first two acts, and then in the third act it kind of goes from slow to fast from scene to scene, and I found that very distracting. And I think the biggest problem with all of this, especially in the first two acts, is I thought this movie was honestly just kind of boring. I didn't really find it that entertaining. I didn't think it was that fun. Like I say, in the trailers I really got this fun vibe from the movie, but seeing it, the actual film itself in its final form, it was very, very slow for me and just very boring. And I don't know if that's just because I'm not a massive, Pokemon fan and I wasn't getting the most out of it as, say, somebody who would be. But just from a pure entertainment standpoint, I just wasn't really having a good time with this film. Overall, Pokemon Detective Pikachu is an interesting film. It's definitely one that I was glad that I saw because I was interested to see it even as a non-Pokemon fan. But I feel like if you are a Pokemon fan, I think you will get a lot more out of it. My particular screening definitely seemed to have a lot more Pokemon fans in it, and everybody else around me seemed to be enjoying the film at least a lot more than I was. And I feel like this movie does have a lot going for it. Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is great in this movie, and I think exploring the Pokemon world is really interesting. But I just feel like the leads are not particularly engaging, and the story and the action action itself is not particularly entertaining, making this movie a bit of a boring slog for me. But like I say, I think it completely depends on how you feel about Pokemon, and if you are a fan of it, you might enjoy it. So if you were a massive fan of Pokemon and you really like this movie, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. I want to see kind of how the movie fared for you. So if you guys seen Detective Pikachu, if you have, make sure you let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's have a conversation about this movie in the comment section down below. And as always guys, if you want to see more movie reviews from me, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again next time.